Well, I was born and raised in a little town called Lexworth, Louisiana. And it's about 30 miles from Baton Rouge, maybe 50 miles from New Orleans. Maybe a little further, maybe I'll change that. I would say 70 miles from New Orleans. And I grew up there, and my daddy was a sharecropper. We all grew up being farmers, doing the cotton thing, and sharing corn and throwing bales of hay. Remember when I was 9 years old and I was throwing hay with the grown men, and they say, "My God, how can you pick up this 65-pound bale of hay?" But I wanted some money, and I would go out and throw that hay with the grown men. Well, in my family, my dad always collected like Muddy Water, John Lee Hooker, Smokey Hogg, Lightning Hopkins, and it kind of rang the bell when I'd hear him sing, which I'm completely left-handed. And I learned to play this way, right hand, because I had never seen a left-hand player. And every time I tell someone this story, they say, "My God." So I guess that's why my sound is kind of, to me, it's different. And because I force myself to play. It's the only thing I do right-handed. Everything else is completely left. And growing up in the country, it was a big family. My mom had a lot of sisters. They had a lot of kids. And our entertainment was not like the kids today. We used to go out and find the lot, what we call a lot, where the cows and the horses, we'd play baseball and box. That's the kind of fighting we would do. We never go around tearing up things and stuff like that like the kids do now, We didn't do that. Buddy started playing first, and he had an old guitar hanging on the wall. I guess I was around just turning 15 years. So I used to sneak in the clubs. I wasn't old enough to come in. He was playing with this group called Big Papa and the Country Boys. And every Sunday they would come to this place called the Rock House. And this little place in Torres, Louisiana, where one man, his name was, we'd call him Mr. Johnny. He was an Italian man, Johnny Maglicia. And he had the little juke joint there. He had all the blues, and that's where all the black people went. And we all would sit there every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they would come, and so Buddy and Big Papa start playing there on Sunday evenings, so quite natural. Mr. Johnny, he would let me come in because my daddy noticed all. So they would come in every Sunday and they would play boogie like that all night long, and people would dance, And that's the first thing I learned how to play, the boogie. And I would kind of come in and play with Big Papa and my brother. They would let me play at the end, so I would be so shaky, I said, "Come on, play that boogie, man." I said, and I couldn't get it together. But I worked at it till I got it. And it was fun. And I enjoyed it ever since. And I always liked the blues because it was a feeling that, it would just take you so far, and it just get in your bones, in your blood or something. And it's still there because if it wasn't, believe me, I wouldn't do the things I do to play it. It's probably the life and the style that we grew up in, and the blues that just hit me and the people that I was around, and because every time I'd hear a record singing about something, it seemed like it was part of something that we did. And not always about beating your wife or shooting your old lady or something like that. It's a feeling, and it's a good feeling. The music comes along with the feeling, and when the lyrics start, it tells a story. And sometimes you hear that story and you've seen that story, because a lot of people ask me, "You write your songs?" No, what I see in life, that's what I write about, do my music about. I can't just sit out and write a song. I can't. My brother, he started playing with Ray Neal, Kenny Neal, his father. Well, he started playing with Ray Neal, and Ray Neal, Buddy moved up to Chicago. He left Louisiana. So Rayford was left without a guitar player, and he said, man, I wish I could find a guitar player. And Buddy told him, say, well, I got a brother, and he plays. And he said, you do? And he said, well, when can I get him? And I was only 15. And he said, well, I don't think, my mom would let me go at that age. And he said, well, I'll go try. And he came to my house and asked my dad, my mom, and I was so eager to go till they said, okay, just let him go, but take care of him, because then I stayed at Rayford's home with his family and his mom. They were great to me. And about, I would say after I left, played with Rayford for about 10 or 12 years, then I came to Chicago, and his son, Kenny, was the same deal. He wanted to leave, so I'd taken him to my home. I got married, and we did the same thing. So he stayed with me for a while, and he started playing with Buddy, and now he's out doing very well. So it was like almost like a family deal, When I came to Chicago, my brother Buddy called me up. He needed a rhythm player. I said, hey, would you like to come play with me? We are going to Africa. I said, when are we leaving? So that was the first thing. When he said that, I knew I never had a chance to go to Africa, and I just took off right then and started playing with him, playing second rhythm. And we went to Africa on one of those, I guess, politics deals, where you send people in, and we went to 13 different countries. It was great. It was beautiful. And I enjoyed every minute of it because seeing things that I never saw before, and going to Africa was just unbelievable. Oh, it was so great. We were one of the first blues bands that ever went to Africa, and we would go to the places like Kinshasa and Mombasa. And at the time, there was the Congo. And we went there, and people would be standing at the airport, and they never saw the big, huge amplifiers we brought in the sound, and they would take off. But at that time, Buddy was playing straight blues. I was doing James Brown. And and they knew James Brown and Muhammad Ali. Them the two people they really know there. And they want me to do James Brown. So I would do James Brown. They all come on stage, and I was doing the James Brown dance and all that stuff, And it was great. And, we just had a ball. We just had a ball, and we had the cameras and everything following us from then on, And it was unbelievable. Well, we met I don't remember the jazz man, but it was a very famous jazz guy. It was somewhere near Nairobi that we met that come out of there. It wasn't Hugh Maskakila. It was another guy. And I don't remember his name, but he's very famous. And we went to his home, and it was jazz most of the time because all the jazz guys was going there. And we come there playing the blues, and somewhere we were, Buddy was playing the real hard blues like he plays. And they thought the strings was magic, and they stole all the strings off the guitar. No guitar, just the strings, because they thought the strings was magic. It was very different. We went to Australia, and we had a tour with the Rolling Stones, and that was wow. Back in, I think it was 70, what was that? In the 70s, probably 71 or 72. And we toured all over England. And I'll never forget, Richard Nixon was president. And somewhere we went, he was coming in at the same time that we were with the Stones. And the airport was so full of people, they thought they was there for Nixon. They wasn't. They was there to see the Rolling Stones. And they had all the security around Nixon, They ain't paying him no attention. So we had to run and run to catch the bus, and the people was chasing us. Oh, it was something else. I think around about 80 when I first did a CD on my own with JSP. Now, I went in the studio because JSP was recording Buddy. And he said, you want to sing a song? I said, why not? So I start singing. Early this morning, saw my baby making love to the garbage man. And GSP said, "Who is that guy, buddy?" Buddy said, "That's my brother." Really? I said, "I didn't know you had no brother." So I made the Garbage Man Blues. And from then on, I started recording with, that's how I got to recording with the GSP. I never recorded for, well, Wolf, one with Wolf. And mostly my records was with JSP. Now I'll give John credit for that because the Alligator and Delmont, they never recorded me. I used to beg them to record me. And they said, okay. They set me on the back burner all the time because they wanted to do Buddy all the time, Junior, and Coco Taylor, Lonnie Brooks, and them guys like that. But they never gave me a chance. And they always didn't want me to record with a European label. I said, well, you guys never going to record me. I got to record with somebody. So John gave me a chance to do some recording, you know. I still don't have a CD with the U.S. record as of today. When I started, you know, getting into a song or something, even just riding down the street here, I might see something that remind me of a song. And it hits me, it just kind of records in my mind. I don't ever put it on the paper or anything. Like, I'm gonna do a song when I go back, another CD for GSP. And I was just writing down, and I was thinking about all the musicians like Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Junior Wells, Albert King, and many more, Luther Allison. They're gone. So this thing hit me in my mind saying, here's a song. I'm the last of the blues singers because everybody else is gone. So I kind of gets off on songs like that. So something turning in my mind about that right now, you know. It's probably the first one, the Garbage Man Blues, because it was funny. The story on that one, it was 75 below zero in Chicago, and I was living in an apartment and had the big glass window right in front. So I was looking out, and these people come, you know, and the darn garbage can is frozen, and they're trying to get it out. And I'm just sitting there looking with my guitar, just trying to think of something. And this come across my mind, you know, the Garbage Man Blues, you know. And I start singing about the Garbage Man Blues, you know. And people ask me, did your girl really make love to the Garbage Man? I said, no, it just, a song just come over my head like that when I saw him. And he couldn't get it out. It was so cold. Oh, it was 75 below zero. And they was trying to get that garbage can out of there. And it was just unbelievable. I can't say it too much about any of them because I only own one. And this one I've been had ever since I was 15 years old. And I kind of call it Lou Della. People say, why you call it Lou Della? I don't know, it was a song. And people always talk about this Lou Della. And Jimmy Rogers sung a song about Lou Della, oh, Lou Della is the sweetest girl I know. And I said, well, B.B. King called this guitar Lucille. I said, why not call my guitar Lou Della? And Albert King had Lucy. So I guess Lou is a famous name for the guitar somewhere. But I had one more guitar I had got about 10 years ago. I got it from Buddy, and the Japanese guy had made it special. It was great. And I went to a concert where Lou Ross do every year in Chicago. Somebody stole my whole van and everything in it, guitar amp and everything. So I've never seen that one again. But I had this one at home, and I carries it everywhere I go now. When I get out, takes it in, you know, say, why you going to the restaurant? Why you carrying your guitar? I don't want to lose it. It's been with me so long, you know. When we went to Africa, we had all the guitars on top of the carrier. They all blew off, and we went to the next city, and we discovered we lost them. So where's the guitar? And we went back and found them. Unbelievable. We went back and found them. The feel. I mean, I can play another guitar like it was a kid last night. He's just learning. I guess he's about 18, 19 years old, and he come played it. It was just unbelievable for him to play this because they know the old ones in the feel. It's the neck the Fender used to put on it. It was a maple made from maple wood. That they don't really do that anymore, and the sound quality comes out. I've changed the pickup on both of these. That's not original, but it still has the wood and it brings out a unique sound. Yeah, and it just feels good to me because I play another guitar. My hand got adjust to about where the strings go and everything because I do that a lot with my fingers. So it's soft. I've been with it for a while. Trying to call your guitar your baby, and it's a man, it's kind of hard, you know? It's got to be a lady. And don't care how late you stay out, it never cries. So that's why most guys call it the baby. And sometimes you get angry and things don't go right. First thing you pick up is your baby and kind of soothes your mind. Oh, baby, you don't have to go. Oh, baby, yeah, you don't have to go. If you go, honey, I'll pack up my clothes. Down the road I go. So it's kind of soothes your mind. You can pick up your guitar and have fun with it. I think people recognize us more. And at that time, I was just playing with Buddy, and I was a rhythm guitar player. And he started getting more jobs, I know, once we did the tour. And as I record, going back, I think he got more recordings. He started recording. Then we started coming to France during the jazz fest in Nice, France. And we went to Australia and just a lot of different places. And around the U.S., he was doing a lot of, especially when I say the hippie days, we did a lot of festivals during that time. And we wound up with guys like Jethro Tull, Can Heat, Steppenwolf, 10 years after. And we did a tour with Janis Joplin just before she died. We did I don't know if you ever read about the cross Canada thing she did. Oh, it was, what did they call that? The export, the festival export. And we were on that tour with Janis Joplin. And someone have some film on it. Every once in a while I see the film. They mostly show her. They don't show all the bands because they did have Bonnie Delaney, Grateful Dead was there. Who else? Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, which I was playing with, and quite a few more. But we had a history of the longest jam in the world because we jammed from Toronto to Winnipeg. I remember they had 3 cars together, coaches, and everybody started playing, and we get tired, we go to sleep, wake up and come back, they were still jamming. And that was the longest jam in the world. They wrote it up in the Rolling Stone magazine at the time. And it was fun, because people would be 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning in these little towns. We'd go through and the train would stop. The people would have the kids out there on the railroad so they could see Janis because she was real popular then. And they would stand out there that time of morning just to wait and see her. And she was very nice. She'd get off and talk to them and have fun with them. But, that's what shocked me because I never did see her do anything. She drank Southern Comfort. We all know that she, I think, overdosed, but I had no idea she was doing anything, you know, but because she drank the Southern Comfort, and when she hit the stage, she was just really wild. Yeah. He was a character. Junior was really a character. He was one of the best guys you would ever meet because he was funny all the time. But if he wasn't drinking anything, he'd go lock up in the hotel and you wouldn't see him all day. He'd watch TV like cartoons. So he'd watch Bugs Bunny, Amos and Andy, something like that, the Stooges. He loved the Stooges. So when people talk about how Michael Jackson liked to watch that stuff, Junior Wells used to too. When I'd see him watch that, he just all day he'd go in his room, lock up. But at night, Junior Wells was a different man. I guess it was stage performance. Sometimes I used to tell him I thought he was afraid or something, because when he would come out and he'd get him a drink, he was a whole different person because he started doing all these crazy things, which was funny. We call him the Bug, and he was real funny. Oh, Junior, he would always tell jokes and say these things, and he's not going to do this and not going to do that. And he would give you his heart, and like, I guess instruments, he would buy a whole bunch of instruments that he didn't really need, and he'd give them to the musicians that didn't have it. Of course, he said he was selling them, but most of them didn't pay him, and he'd just do things like that. Lend them money. I remember once the band, he had got drinking one night, and the band, he had paid them all off, and they got back in line again. He paid them again. I had to go back to the GSP recording because before I did that, once you do a CD, everybody said, "Oh, come on, get your own band." I didn't want to be no leader. I just wanted to play rhythm. I was happy doing that. So when I recorded the CD, Buddy had a club called the Checkerboard Lounge. It's still on 43rd Street. And he got to a point once where he couldn't get any money that he wanted. So he said, he quit playing. He said, "I'm not going out no more till I get what I wanted, what I think I deserve." So me, I had nothing. So I started playing with Coco Taylor, started playing with Big Mama Thorne, Junior Wells, Sun Seals, just all of them, Whoever needed a guitar player, I'd go out with him. So they thought I had left the band. This is how we got split up. So they thought I had left the band. So he stayed at the club, and he was running the club and stuff and wasn't going anywhere. And I think the last gig I did was probably with Sun Seals. And I went out, and somebody called him up, so he had to have a band. So he got another guitar player, and they went with him. So that by then I had the CD out. So I was getting little gigs on my own here and there. Then I started going to Canada for like 3 weeks at a time. And I performed in a band called Phil Guy and the Chicago Machine with Eddie Luss, Maurice John Vaughn, Mike Morrison, and Andre Cotton. So the keyboard player was a good keyboard player. We used to call him Professor. And he came over a few times with Otis Rush. And he was a very good piano player and keyboard. So we got together and we hooked up for about 8 or 10 years, and he started recording with me, and I would go to Canada 3-4 weeks sometime. One time 6 weeks, and by then we were doing most of the work in Canada, in New York and places like that. And that's how we got separated, Buddy and I. And when he started back to playing, because was working around with the club, the Checkerboard, because he just was really fed up because he and Junior was getting not half of the money that they should, the two together. And he was trying to make it had the band, so Junior was kind of playing with us, and it was, a duet thing, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells. but they wasn't getting very much money. So he just kind of called it off and say, I'm just giving it up for a while, I guess. And I thought he had quit, but somebody finally called him because when he recorded with Silvertone, he hadn't recorded a record in 15 years, I guess. That's when he come out with Damn Right I Got the Blues. He hadn't recorded in a long time. Well, the 90s, let me see. Well, I started recording around the 80s, and I stayed with John all the way through, and that's means JSP. And I had the band, and I lost some of the fellas because they all started jumping and getting their own group. But I kept, my little band together. I'd get another replacement. And the 90s, I just kept playing, I never gave up. And I would work around mostly Chicago and back into Canada and sometime New York, Boston. Not too much in Boston, but I never go to California. I never did go. I don't know why. I never did get on the festivals. And I started working more around the Chicago area and Detroit area, Michigan and Wisconsin, Minnesota. Chicago sound was like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Jimmy Reed, and the guys like and Little Walter, and who else come out of there? Sonny Boy. That's what they call it, Willie Dixon sound, because it was a certain shuffle that they would play on the drums that the other cities didn't have that, and it was just a muddy feeling coming out of Chicago, because when I leave Louisiana, I was talking about going to California, even before my brother called me. But when I found out Muddy Waters and all those guys then, that was my main stream to meet these guys, and just to see him. That's why I wanted to be, because I know that was the feel that I had developed, the Muddy Waters sound. I think I have the Chicago sound more than I have the Louisiana style, because they still play like really fast, almost Zydeco sound. If you listen to Kenny Neal and all these guys from down there, they still got that fast tempo sound, where if I play something different, it's more in the R&B style instead of the crawfish style. I call it crawfish, that Zanka, shika, zanka, shika, shaka, I played with him. They got some films around where I had a chance to play with him in some schools that we did film you should, maybe you can find with Buddy Miles and Junior and Dr. John and myself and Coco Taylor. I thought that was a great film. And I had a chance to play Bonnie Raitt. She used to be the opening act for us, and also the Thunderbirds. Stevie Ray's brother, what's his name? Jimmy. And now Stevie Ray, he never was around too much, but we did meet him a lot because he always was off to doing something on his own. But Jimmy Ray, we used to play at Antone's in Texas, which has a label that a lot of blues guys own now. And they was the opening act a lot of time for Buddy. And they still love him down there, he goes down a lot. He always was a man that you could go in anytime. He was always the same, and he had the big smile on his face. Come on in here, bud. He'd call everybody bud, Come on in here, boy. And he always had his champagne. I never saw him in a bad move. And that was one of the things I took under my arm from him. And the way when he hit the stage, he was singing. There was so much power, to what he says. And it would move people so much. And, when I tries to sing one of his songs, I try to remember how he expressed it. And I tries the best I can the way he did it. Nobody can do it like him, but you can copy, And that was one of the great things I knew about him. And just seeing him sit there and play, and you never thought he would move people like that with the songs, but you go back and sit down and listen to them, and man, they are powerful, very powerful. When I sit down and listen to him, a lot of players from back in his time, I would listen to it and it wouldn't move me like that. And I think he did take the blues a step further because the way he would express it, the words he would say, and how he would come across. And it would make you listen to him, just say, wow, listen to that guy, how you say that, Oh, he never tried to add on anything. It just come out naturally, Thanks to the Lord upstairs that he let me stick around for a while and still let me go on. I must have a mission to do, and I'm going to keep doing it till I can't do it anymore. And I'm going to try to come into the millennium with an open heart and open arms and love everybody, treat everybody nice.